Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Do us a favor, smash that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. We can't thank you all enough for your support. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us at Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check us out also on Reddit and Discord. And don't forget to leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
Let's get right into the Bomber talk. Bombers are on a bit of a winning streak. Looking good. Most encouraging thing about the BC Lions game, I'll say the offensive line. I'm not saying that they're perfect, but I'm encouraged the most by their play recently against the BC Lions, who are second in the league in sacks. And they held them to 3 sacks in 2 games. Mind you, I think BC's leading sack getter, Archibald, was not playing in this past game due to injury, but still, they played really well. They let one person get 2 sacks. And you know what? If Caleros gets anything more than 3 seconds, that's solid offensive line play. You think about Mississippi's or alligators or whatever when we played on the yard. You get more than 3 of those in professional football and you're doing good. In the first sack, Zach had 5 seconds, did this little weird jump fake pass. There was nothing there. Solid coverage by BC. But that play was quickly followed by the dime pass to Nick Dembski in the end zone for that 23-yard touchdown pass. Second sack was Caleros and a bit over 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds. Again, good coverage by BC. He did have a man underneath, wouldn't have gotten the first down. So I get it. Fine, take the sack. So I think the O-line's looking good. 110 yards rushing. I like the O-line. That's the most encouraging thing for me.
Yeah, and didn't a couple of those sacks come really early in the game?
Yes,
Like two of them, right?
Both in the first quarter.
Yeah. So so they settled down after that. There was a couple of quick plays where Claros had to make a quick decision, but he got the ball away, like you said. They gave him enough time to find a receiver or to dump something off. So yeah, it's good to see and it's encouraging. So having said that, do you keep Kendall Randolph in? Is it Kendall, right? Did I say that right? Yeah. In instead of Pat Neufeld when Neufeld returns.
Yes, you keep the unit that's going well right now. You don't disturb that. Like Oliveira had 78 yards on 10 carries. That's almost 8 yards a carry. I truly believe for this offense to be at their best, and I think I said this in week 2 or week 3, Oliveira has to have 20 touches, not 20 carries, 20 touches. So I think they got to commit more to that, but still, O-line props to them.
Yeah, you'd like to see Oliveira get a little bit more than just in the fourth quarter to salt the game away, right? and look, Claros is playing well, but he's still struggling to find the end zone. Still only 4 touchdowns so far this year, 8 interceptions, and we saw him force another one. I guess that's a conversation here we're going to have in a couple minutes. So, you got to use Oliveira a little bit more, and start pounding those touchdowns, especially in the red zone. For me, then, for the encouraging thing, I'll go the other side of the ball and that D line and that pass rush. It is heating up. You had Celestin Haba back here as well. 3-headed monster between him, Taiwan Garbett, and Willie Jefferson at times, where Jefferson would go in the middle, and then you got all 3 of those guys rushing. Jordan Younger, man, it's fun to watch this defense develop or evolve over the course of the season. And now that he's getting pieces back in certain positions, that he can do a little bit more. So yeah, it's encouraged me to see that pass rush get at it. And it wasn't necessarily always about sacks, but they were causing trouble for Rourke. Jake Thomas hit Rourke just as he was about to throw. So another, Jake Thomas is filling in well there too. So it's good to see that D line now, because we were complaining about them earlier in the year, starting to make their presence felt.
They have 2 players right now in the top 2 in sacks. A lot of people are tied at second with 4, but they have Willie Jefferson, of course, and Devin Adams, who's quietly gotten 4 sacks. And Willie Jefferson getting that sack on a 3-man rush. How do you not double team Willie Jefferson on a 3-man rush? You're just asking for trouble.
And that is pretty funny, actually, because he's a dangerous guy on that line. You got 5 guys blocking 3, but yeah. And then part of that was Rourke. Rourke, he was late getting out of that ball, talking about O-line and seconds to throw. Rourke was hanging out that ball a lot and not liking what he saw or wasn't comfortable with it. So, and that hands off to the Bombers DB as well, that we're playing another strong game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, Willie Jefferson, talked about him being a disruptive force still. You'd still build a defense around him. He's still so good.
Oh yeah.
Most concerning thing from the BC Lions game, as you alluded to earlier. Maybe go ahead.
Yeah, it goes back to it. And it's a lack of finish by this offense. Getting into the red zone, struggling sometimes here and there now on these third and shorts, and getting cute sometimes. Like you had 2nd and 4. Carlos was slinging that ball around, and you put Strebler in.
Yeah.
I think he gained only a yard or two, and then you went for on third down and he tripped over Stanley Bryan. It's like, stop getting cute. Carlos is slinging it. Carlos is feeling it. It was 2nd and 4, whatever it is. Let him continue on. So that offense, and Claros put up some good numbers. The defense or the running game put up good numbers, like you said, 110 yards. So they're putting up the numbers. But now you got to put the points on the board and put these games away, because BC was still in this game. It was only a 1-score game or 2-score game for a long time. And that's 2 weeks in a row where the D has played really well, but the opposition still has a chance to possibly win that game or strike quickly and get right back in the game. So the offense needs to start finishing touchdowns, get better in the red zone.
4 games in a row.
Yeah, that's true.
Toronto, right? Saskatchewan, 19 points, I think, in both of those games or something like that. To both teams, I mean. Sheesh.
Well, yeah, and Toronto's was 7 of theirs was interception return, right?
Yeah.
Or 6, I guess, and then the convert. But yeah.
Overtime.
Yeah, so.
Ooh. My most concerning thing would probably be the injuries. Nick Dembski was all right, I think, and Adam Bighill didn't get to finish. Adam Bighill went nuts last week against the same BC team, and they got 43 yards rushing. So I think there is definitely a Biggie effect. We saw it in the Grey Cup as well. Stanback had a decent day there, and he also had a decent day against the Bombers. And we know Nick Dembski, he likes to play hard. He doesn't play like his age. He looks for those extra yards, and he looks for that extra contact. And hopefully that doesn't wear as the season goes on, because he had a great game.
Yeah.
So the injury, the injury sheet's looking really good right now.
Yeah, getting guys back. So it sucks to possibly lose Bighill. Nothing I've seen today states his injury, but usually when it's non-contact, like it was in that game, that's not usually a good sign. But you saw BC right away attack the middle of the field once Bighill went out a couple runs. And I'm surprised they didn't stick to it more, because Stanback was having a great game.
Yeah.
And you saw Rourke struggle, right? Nathan Rourke was struggling. So lean on that run game. But thank God BC, had different ideas on how they were going to run that offense.
100 yards and 15 carries for Stanback. And the team ran for 131. The Bombers have the worst run defense in the CFL. The Lions aren't far behind with the third worst. But, it's really concerning with games come the end of the year and close games. If the Bombers are down 2 scores with 3 minutes left, if the running game from the opposition keeps rolling, it's game over.
Yeah.
So I hope that's going to be able to be fixed, because that's a bit of a concern.
Nah, that's funny, because but as well as the defense has played, the run game still is iffy, and you saw it yesterday. So, and now if Bighill's out for a bit, Gauthier, he's got some big shoes to fill, right? And I know the Bombers are still missing Kyrie Wilson as well. So hopefully he'll be back and shore that up. But we've seen that run defense over the last couple of seasons kind of be leaky.
And talk about Kyrie Wilson. Shout out to Tony Jones.
Yeah.
Shoot. That guy was all over the place playing physical football. Man, I like watching that guy play. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just said if he continues like that too, maybe you can throw Kyrie Wilson in the middle of the field if Bigill's hurt, or maybe Tony Jones goes there, right? So as much as I like seeing Gauthier, I don't know if he's obviously not at the level of Bighill, but we need someone to kind of fill in between, and hopefully someone can get that done.
I think Kyrie Wilson would be the better fill at middle, especially with the passing game. Passing teams like Hamilton coming up. I think the middle's got to be patrolled by a more athletic.
Did he play it in the first game when Bighill was out? He did, didn't he? Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. Okay.
Tip of the glass might have the same player on here. You can go ahead.
I'm going to go with Nick Dembski. You talked about him. Probably his best game of the year. 6 catches, 109 yards, touchdown, and an awesome catch and throw in one play towards the sideline later on where Claros hit him beautifully. Great route, great throw by Claros. And it's fun to see Nick Dembski do this. That was his first 100-yard game of the season. considering the guy put up 1,000 last year. So a little bit slow going for him, but great to see him break out.
Yeah, he came close to 100 when he got 94 against BC in week 3. By week 11 last week, he had last week. By week 11 last year, he had 2 100-yard games. So no Fred, I think he's still on pace. And if he keeps going the way he is to get 440, 455 in the last 8 games, that'll put him around 1020, which will be a career high. The Bombers have passed for 900 yards over the last 3 games. Dembski has 200 of those yards. He's starting to play great and be dependable. So yeah, also I'll tip that's not a glass, it's a can. I'll tip it. It's the juicy hazy IPA. It's delicious.
Oh, that's a great beer.
And that's the go-to now.
Yeah, it is mine too all the time.
Go-to now. But yeah, Nick Dembski, I totally agree with you. Like he set up the Strevler touchdown that put him up 17-0. Of course, with that over-the-shoulder catch. Another over-the-shoulder catch for that first touchdown. So yeah, definitely Nick Dembski for me.
Yeah, and like you say, with his yardage, the Bombers did start off slow passing-wise, right? Collaros had a few games there where he was under 200 yards, was he not?
Yeah.
Early in the year. So, yeah, the whole offense started slow and it's starting to pick up steam now. So, yeah, they'll just build on it. And plus, it was Dembski, right? Wide receiver. Schoen was hurt. Lawler just finally came back. We didn't know Ontario Wilson at the time and what he can do. And Wolotarski also was there, but he ended up getting hurt. So, a lot of that was on Dembski's shoulders and a lot of focus was on Dembski. As all the other receivers were pretty much unknown at the time. So besides Wolotarski, of course, but so good to see.
Hoping Clarcius can step up to fill a little bit of Wolotarski's shoes.
Yeah, Clarcius, nice catch yesterday. I think it was second down or whatever. You get the first down, but a couple nice big plays. Not a lot of action in there, but he made some good catches.
Yeah, he's a good receiver. He's a good feature. I like it. Describe Nathan Rourke's performance with one word.
Rusty, really. I mean, the guy hasn't played much in the last 2 years, I guess, right? 2-year tour of the NFL.
600 plus days.
Yeah, so coming in, only a few days practice, probably wasn't the greatest idea to even play him, but maybe it helps shake off the rust. But that's a big game for BC to lose because now you've lost the tiebreaker as well, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Rusty for me.
I'm going to say expected. The man had, 2-3 practices, repping with the first team, learning some new wrinkles in the playbook, on what I'm sure was a slimmed down playbook from what the Bombers saw the 2 weeks before. Hasn't played full speed for a full game against regular starters for over 600 days, like we were saying. There are BC fans who are already losing their minds, and it's hilarious. Some people are saying that I told you he was overrated. It's like, come on. Imagine working at Future Shop or whatever, Best Buy. Imagine working and getting 1 day training on the till, and then your first day working is Boxing Day. Imagine that. That's what was going on. So just relax, some of you BC fans.
I think everyone needs to relax with it because, yeah, BC fans are mad. Other fans are saying, we knew he wasn't very good, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, give this guy a chance. He probably shouldn't have played yesterday. He just got back. A long time of not playing football and all that. So, yeah, give this guy a couple weeks and I'm sure he'll be right back up there. But interesting for me still is the Vernon Adams part of it. There's no way Vernon Adams, I can't see the guy wanting to stay there and being a backup. No. So I wonder what ends up happening with him, or if a team loses a quarterback again at some point, if he'll be inside the discussions. But if you're BC and say Claros, knock on wood, got hurt, are you really trading Vernon Adams to Winnipeg? Kind of thing. So
no, he's there for this season. I believe what they say. Because if it doesn't go well with Nathan Rourke and he's raring to go, you can go to him on a playoff run or late season run. Yeah. And, and then you got Nathan Rourke for the whole offseason, and then you have the whole offseason to think about moving him and making the right move rather than whatever. I think he's there for this season.
Yeah. Cool.
Which Winnipeg Blue Bomber has had the biggest impact during the current winning streak? I'm going to go off the map, and I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to say Jordan Younger. Without officially knowing what he has done with the scheme in the last 4 games, like we were saying, where they've held teams to under 25 points or whatever it is. I'll be a guy, I'll piss in people's pool or whatever and tell them that, hey, they've been playing some backup quarterbacks lately for the last month with Saskatchewan, Toronto, and BC. And they definitely look good against VA, who was like we're saying, MOP candidate until Benny cursed him by taking him on his team. Then his season started
Yeah,
tanking.
exactly. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. But yeah, I like what they're doing. Like their pass rush is working with 3 or 4 guys. The coverage is still it's phenomenal. So I can't say scheme wise what it is. I can't say personnel wise what it is, but whatever they're doing, whatever Jordan Younger and Richie Hall's figured out, I think that's had the biggest impact during this winning streak.
Yeah, and we said after the Saskatchewan Toronto games, defense played great, but let's see them against a better offense. BC rolled in and they shut Vernon Adams and that high-powered offense down, shut them out. So you got to give them credit, even if they played 2 backup quarterbacks. Shea Patterson has been putting up 200 to 300 yards a game, right? So, and points wise, the Bombers kept them down. Unfortunately, the offense couldn't score, but yeah, Jordan Younger, a revelation almost because the way things started, right? It didn't look like he was doing anything. Those, heavy blitzes still weren't working. I haven't seen any of those heavy blitzes in the last couple games, and I love that because they're getting at the guys without doing that, right? So
yeah,
right, that's a great pick. I wasn't even thinking coach or anything at all in that. I just immediately thought which player and tried to figure it out from there. But yeah, I like Jordan Younger. I'm going to stick with defense too then and go Willie Jefferson because that guy's motor, and I pick him almost for almost everything. But his motor kept going even when they were losing. He's gotten sacks in pretty much the last few games, at least one in those knockdown passes. He's just going and he's just loving the game, and you can see him bring that on the field. And we talked about the Bombers losing Rasheed Bailey, Hardrick, and all these on-field entertainers almost kind of thing. At least Willie Jefferson's still there, and you still see he's loving it, man. He loves playing the game, and you can see that on the field. And he loves it too when other guys make plays and not necessarily just him. So it's been fun to watch.
I wonder what that defense would be like without Willie Jefferson.
Oh my God, no!
I love your initial reaction. We might have to. That's a replay loop reaction that we have. Oh my God, because it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts on the Bombers matchup with Hamilton. Offense, defense. I think right now Hamilton is in trouble. They don't have the personnel to compete. And I'm going to look at Orlando Steinhauer for that, but I think we'll probably talk about that later. But on offense, I think the Bombers just have to come quick out of the gate. Hamilton has a pretty solid offense themselves, but they have a horrible defense. When it comes to opposition's pass efficiency, they are the worst. So the Bombers have an opportunity to pass and score and finish their drives. Like we were talking about where they got stopped. They got stopped at the 31-yard line, the 35-yard line, and the 36-yard line against the BC Lions. Like, you are there in the CFL with that amount of field space. That's almost like being at the 25, 20-yard line in regards to what you can do with passing and running plays. So they just got to be on them, and they got to score those touchdowns. And those interceptions, that interception by Zach Clarence, that can't happen. Especially
not needed.
Yes, especially when you have a team like Hamilton who can score quickly and in bunches. Like, you can't give a team like Hamilton momentum, and turnovers like that will give it to them. So please don't. TJ Hall was covering the underneath. There was a guy over. I don't know what he was throwing to, and there was no pressure.
No,
I don't know what happened there.
And he had a guy open underneath that he could have thrown it to and probably got the first down. There was no point. And that's the thing. We haven't seen Zach do that in the last couple games. But again, it reared its ugly head, and it could have. Thankfully, the D was playing so well that they didn't even allow BC to get a first down there, I don't think. But that could have been disastrous for that game, and it could have, like I said, close games. It's only 1 or 2 score games. That could have flipped that game right there. BC scores, who knows what happens. But yeah, the D played well. But yeah, just find that killer instinct. Find it, Zach Lars. Find that killer instinct on offense, but without being boneheaded about it and make a mistake. You can't give away points in this league. But yeah, the Hamilton D, I'm assuming they're going to be different a little bit scheme wise, but I don't know how you can implement that in a week with Chris Jones taking over. But like you say, Steinhauer has not done a good job on that D at all. So the offense, this is their chance. they really need to put some points on the board. And if they're going to beat BC, look at what Edmonton did. Put up 40 something, right?
Yep.
So if Edmonton's putting up 40 something, Winnipeg's got to be able to do at least that or closer. I know Edmonton scored a lot more points so far this year than Winnipeg has, but yeah, they definitely got to put the points on the board. Put this game away early. Do not give Hamilton a chance because they're wounded, they're hurt. But if you give them the opportunity, you never know what can happen.
Touchdowns.
And
we talk about
touchdowns, throwing ones.
Yes. We talk about, the turnovers and, Zach Clare's deal. And the fumbles have really been slowed down after, that was it that Calgary game? No. Toronto.
Yeah.
With the fumbles, Nick Dembski ain't fumbling the ball. Brady Oliveira is protecting the ball. So that's good that's on lockdown. But, come on. Defense, what they got to do?
Keep going. Keep doing what they're doing. They're pressuring the quarterback. They're starting to create their turnovers. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, how well they were playing, but they weren't turning the ball over. 2 interceptions yesterday. A forced fumble, which did he get credited as a forced fumble on that standback one? Can't remember. But so now they're making plays, right? And like you said, Hamilton does have an offense that can score and move the ball quickly. Bo Levi's had a great year. He's first in passing yards. And I'm assuming he'll be starting this game again with Powell getting hurt last game. So they can put up the yards, and it'll be a good test for the Bombers. And they'll have to get after Bo Levi and make some mistakes.
Yeah, they got to get in his face. And he has a lot of weapons to choose from. Going into this week, I can't tell you about league leaders in passing because the stats aren't quite perfect yet on the website. But going into the past week, Hamilton had 4 of the top 15 pass receivers in yardage. Shamar Briggs, Tim White, Steve Dunbar, and Keandre Smith. Hamilton is a top net offense in the CFL. The Bombers have to get to Bo Levi Mitchell. And they have to get them with 4 guys and 3 guys sometimes because they'll need those linebackers, especially right at Cramdy, to drop off in coverage, to be better in pass coverage. So, if Shane Gauthier in there, they might be looking to the middle of the field all night long if Biggie isn't good to go.
Yeah, this will be a good tough test for that Bomber D.
That secondary has to keep ball hawking. And it was good to see Brandon Alexander get in the business last game.
Nice hit on Hollins. It was Hollins, right?
And he led with his shoulder. He went like this on TV. He went, and then boom. So, the defensive guy do that, getting Bo Levi's Mitchell's face. And those linebackers got to be good in coverage too.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many of those hits like by Brandon Alexander so far this year. So that was good to see. And the DBs have been playing well. Tyrell Ford, another interception, could have taken it to the house if there wasn't a penalty there. So good to see, man. And they're still without Parker, right? Yeah. He's still hurt. I don't know how long he's gone for, but that DB group has performed very well.
Strong. What do they got to do on defense on your end?
Yeah, we already talked about that. I already gave my 2 cents on that.
Sorry about that. I thought you were continuing off what I said. That there's no pause. It was just smooth conversation. Sometimes you get lost. I'm like, well, that was smooth. So what do you guys say about it? Oh, I said it already, bro.
Yeah,
okay, sorry. So let's move on to special teams. What do you got for special teams?
Better game from Jamison Sheehan, average wise. Now he just needs to find that consistency. We can't be shanking punts like he did in the first game against BC. Return game, they had Lucky Whitehead back there this time. Yeah, a little bit better, I guess, a tiny bit. I don't know, but not much. So hopefully he can continue to grow in that role now that he kind of knows where the blocking lanes would be in live action, and hopefully he can take off.
Yes, keep Lucky going. Keep the return of Lucky going. I love how he's running with confidence. Cody Case did that a little better than Chris Smith. And I think Lucky Whitehead was doing that better than, who did I just say? Cody Case. Saying too many names, trying to build a tree here. But any which way, I hope they continue with Lucky Whitehead. And he is a great option on the offense as a Swiss Army knife kind of deal, which actually they're not using Dembski at all as.
No, yeah, Whitehead had a bunch of those yesterday, or a couple of those yesterday at least.
Which I don't mind.
Tosses, yeah.
Yep, yeah. I don't mind. Bomber fans, put your comments in the comments section below. Let's do a little CFL talk. Initial thoughts on Chad Kelly's possible return. What a joke. The CFL looks bad. Maple Leaf Sports looks bad. They always look bad. And it makes the Argos look bad. You know, in any other job, being harassed or being a harasser, your job would be done. And I'd probably be looking for a new career.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy gets to keep going, even though he has a horrible past. So, what a joke.
Yeah, it's not like this was the first time he ever had done something like this. This guy has done stuff in the past, and so giving him another chance in the CFL does not make sense to me. I agree with you. He should have been gone. He should have been gone originally. Someone ended up losing their job and not being able to work in a profession that she may have wanted to work in or really wanted to work in. And now she's going to probably be blackballed from ever getting back into it anyways if she wanted to. So, But Chad Kelly gets to continue on with it. But yeah, that's the CFL and that's Toronto. And Dinwiddie it's like, yeah, we're starting and we don't care. So hopefully he gets crushed out there. I don't like, I saw this on Twitter. Someone said, I don't want him. We don't want Saskatchewan to win, but we also don't want Chad Kelly to win. So hopefully he takes some huge hits out there. Clean hits, of course.
Jeff on the X.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Goodness, Chad Kelly. Don't get me started. Pinball Clemens, come on, man. You're supposed to be like an example of anyway.
That you say that, and it's funny thing with me and pinball. Every time someone said pinball's name or I seen pinball, it's almost like he had that halo over his head, right? Because that's how good of a person you thought he was.
Yeah.
And then he's part of this handling this situation, and he dropped the ball big time on that. So my opinion and my thoughts of him have changed quite a bit.
Oh, huge. He's lost a lot of points.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise of this week in the CFL for you?
Maybe the fact the way the Elks actually destroyed the Ticats. Like that game wasn't close. It was 33-9 at halftime or something like that.
Yeah.
And this was with McLeod Bethel Thompson back at QB with Trey Ford hurt. So, it's like great job by Jarius Jackson over the last few weeks, getting this team to play and ball out on offense. And the defense has played better as well. So good to see. And I can't believe how bad Hamilton was or is.
And Edmonton looking all right.
Yeah.
Edmonton's looking all right. Don't sleep on the Elks.
That we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. We said should be turn the corner or whatever the Elks, and we're like, no, they've only won one game right now. They've won two, and they're right back, or three now, and they're right back in the mix of the playoff race because Calgary is struggling. Winnipeg's starting to get it going. BC's losing. Like that West Division, wide open.
No doubt, eh? It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
And Labor Day's coming up. The season starts soon, right?
Goodness. The biggest surprise for me this week, no CFL team has had the same starting quarterback for the entire season. That's crazy. Why? Yeah. I don't know. Like
Calgary. Jake, hasn't he played every game?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe he has.
He might be the only one though.
Maybe I'm wrong on that.
He'd be the only one if he has.
Yeah, who is their backup? Didn't they take him out?
Stevens?
Didn't he start a game because Meyer played horribly? Or was he just pulled during a game?
He might have been pulled during a game. But
maybe that's right. I got double check that stat. I could be right still. I don't know.
I apologize if I'm wrong.
But there's a crazy amount of you can't really change any of the rules at this point to protect the quarterback. Like, what else can you do? Just right now?
The one thing that I'll point out on that though is the backup quarterbacks that have come in have played well. Like for Montreal, Davis Alexander, is that right?
The ones in Montreal for sure have.
He's played well. Jeremiah Masoli played well. Hamilton, they've put up tons of yards, I guess. Who else am I thinking? Toronto. Cameron Dukes is okay. Shea Patterson was well. Yeah. It's good for the CFL that they got backup quarterbacks that have come in and played well and not stunk it up.
Arbuckle, no.
Arbuckle, no.
Dolagala, no.
Okay, no. So not everybody. Now they got Rourke and VA. So
Chris Streveler, not really.
Yeah, he won. He ran a lot, but he won.
Jeez. Speaking of backup quarterbacks, Jeremiah Masoli's performance, will he get an opportunity to be a full-time starter in the CFL ever again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the guy's still got the talent as long as he can stay healthy. Freak accidents or freak injuries that have hurt him over the last 2 seasons, but guy has the talent. And he came off, and you talk about rusty quarterbacks. He hasn't played in a while, and he did well in that game for Ottawa.
I don't think so. Like, I think he'll be brought into camp, but I don't think he'll ever be like even paid as a serious starter from this point on. I think he'll probably be brought in for insurance. And hey, if something happens to the starter, incumbent, or young guy that they're going to in camp, maybe he'll get an opportunity again. But I
Yeah.
don't think he'll. I don't like. I guess opportunity is someone getting injured. Sure, that could happen.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. I don't think he'll be brought in as a starter anymore.
I guess when you look at it, there's some good, like the league has good starters at every team right now. You know, and I'll even include Bo Levi, who I thought was washed up, but has played very well this year. So there's no spots open right now. But yeah, if he can take it, definitely take a backup role and may end up starting at some point, right? Especially like you say, every starting quarterback, except for possibly one, has gotten hurt and has not played a game. So
That's crazy. Yeah, Jake Meyer has started all the games, so he's
okay,
the only one left.
the
Look,
last man standing.
we just jinxed him.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
Calgary fans might like that though. Guy's been hit and miss all year. So
Oof. Which CFL club needs to be hitting the panic button? Sorry.
well, I guess Hamilton basically just hit it, right? So do they still count in this?
Of course.
Yeah, so there you go. Hamilton right now, they hit the panic button by firing Mark Washington, hiring Chris Jones, thinking that's going to save their season and fix their D. So I don't understand how this guy keeps getting back in the league and that quickly. I know he's free for Hamilton.
Nonsense. It's nonsense. Like for a roster that thin, I don't know. I'm the same thing, Hamilton. Like I don't even know if Milanovic has the room. Like who's this team playing for right now? Putting the blame on a QB, which wasn't the issue, and then firing the defensive coordinator, which also was not the issue. You know, meanwhile, no one is pointing the finger at Orlando Steinhauer. Like this guy, remember a few years ago, he's like maybe leaving to go coach collegiate football in the States. He's turned that threat into a cushy position up in the office where he is the last person to get a finger pointed to. It's crazy.
Well, especially considering where Hamilton was, that Grey Cup, they probably should have beat Winnipeg. Going in as a better team, lost it. Did make it back, but have slowly just gone downhill since that point. And have not gotten any better. So it is crazy to see that this guy still has a job. And Milanovic, though, you have Bo Levi. The guy's putting up crazy yardage. He's not your problem. I don't even know why you'd start this QB controversy for no reason when he was the least of your problems.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Hamilton's
he's having a comeback season. I think players on that team appreciate that. And then you're going to bench him for why?
Yeah. Yeah. That's Hamilton right now.
Speaking of Chris Jones, thoughts of that hiring? I kind of get it. Like the guy knows defense, and maybe without the head coach and GM hat, he can get back to being the defensive guru that he was a few years ago. Will it work in the dressing room? Like he's another A-type personality. With Milanovic, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I get it, but it's weird.
They've had success before doing this together, right? Chris Jones and Milanovic, didn't they? They were together in Edmonton, right? Was it Toronto? No.
Milanovic as an OC and him as DC, or him as
were they together at some point?
Really?
DC OC, or when Chris Jones was coach in Edmonton? No.
Recently?
Am I thinking wrong here? Like before he
left before he went to Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Yeah. I think unless I could be wrong there, but so yeah, I mean, I guess Hamilton did need to do something on D. They were giving up the most points. They've given up 34 plus points a game. But like you say, a lot of it is personnel. And they just don't have the horses for it. So maybe Chris Jones can work some magic. We'll see. But it's a good old CFL, man. They just keep retreading these guys over and over again.
Who's the guy on TSN?
Suter?
No, the older dude. He was with the Argos most recently. Barker. Yeah, he's gonna get hired soon somewhere.
If he's smart, he'd stay where he is. That TV job is probably a lot cushier and better.
Thoughts on Larry Thompson as the new Elks owner? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just reading up on this guy and looking at some articles right off the bat, it seems like a good move. Longtime fan in Edmonton. active in the community already with his business that he built and I believe sold. So he knows how to build a business and he knows how to cater to the community and fans, and customers. So, I don't think it's a bad thing right now. So we'll see how it goes.
Former longtime fan, builds a business, good with customers. Sounds like Daniel Snyder.
Hopefully not the same.
I hope ties to the fan base does bring good things, but they need to find someone who does football ops. They need to hire a president of football ops. And if they were smart, they'd throw the Brinks truck to Kyle Walters. I know he has a contract that goes through 2025, but that's as GM and whatever. But if they gave him a higher position where it actually is a promotion with more money, like that's what they have to do. They have to aggressively go for someone because they can't wait for Kyle Walters to hit the market.
Yeah.
So but I say aggressively go for him, even though as a Bomber fan, I would hate that.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying they got to do to really show that there's value in the new owner. Like as of this right now, it's really kind of superficial in regards to getting rid of community ownership. And I don't know what this guy can do. He's a fan. So am I. I shouldn't be running the Bombers. So I'm just saying.
He did say, or in the article I read, that he does know he needs to get people in the right places. So hopefully he follows that. We've seen coaches say that. Cleveland Browns, Haslam has said that, but then he gets his nose buried deep in there and, forces things to happen. So, and Stephen Ross in Miami. So hopefully he's not like that. Hopefully he gets the right people in place, owns the team, focuses on getting the fans and lets the football ops take care of the football side of it.
Same as Hamilton. Yeah. They need to get a football ops person in there quick. And I can see them going for Kyle Walters as well. As long as they give that guy promotion, he can look for offers.
But I'm stop putting this out there, man. Stop putting it out there.
Hey, I'm just saying the realities of it if they want to be successful. I don't think he'll leave. I think he'll want to finish it and win one at home.
That's the thing. I don't think anyone's leaving until 2026 season kind of thing. After 2025, everyone wants to probably have a chance to play in that Grey Cup, win that Grey Cup at home next year.
But I think the draw to bring a Grey Cup to Hamilton since 1999 will be a big one for him.
Hopefully in a few years, quite a few years. Stop putting it out there.
Well, I know, right? Shoot. Quick shot. I don't know. I'm going crazy tonight. I'm wearing the Wu-Tang. I'm going crazy. Let's talk about quick shots. Let's move on to quick shots. Is Caleb Williams for real? Yes. I think I wasn't wrong about this dude. He's an athlete. As long as Kerry Joseph doesn't mess him up, yes. Kerry Joseph from the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Is he there? QB
coach in Chicago. He came to Seattle with the offensive coordinator from Seattle. Wow. Huh. But in all jest, whatever, he has a bright future, and this kid's already making plays with his feet and with his arms. So does Justin Fields.
Yeah, exactly. It's too early for me to tell. He's looked good at times in the preseason. He had a couple nice throws last game and run. I'm not going to say he's the real deal yet. I'm still on the fence. Chicago's been a place where QBs go to die, right? With a lot of potential, Justin Fields and a lot of that. So until I see him in live action, I'm going to hold off on that.
We should keep an on the fence count for both of us. Did Nathan Rourke get a fair shot in the NFL?
I'm on the fence here, but no, I don't think he did. I seems like Strebler got more of a chance than Rourke ever did. So unfortunate, but hey, good to have him back in the CFL.
I don't think his last shot there with the Giants he did, but I think he had opportunities with the Jaguars and Atlanta and the Patriots, and he just didn't do anything to separate himself from the others. And I don't just mean as someone with a playbook and on the field, but I think as someone in the dressing room and as a leader, as a future quarterback, and probably a stronger body of work would have helped too.
Yeah, he had a decent preseason last year with the Jags, at least. But after that, it just didn't work out.
How will the Raiders do under Gardner Minshew? 500 at best, but I doubt they'll win 6 games. They need a workhouse back like CMC to be competitive, and they don't. So no.
He will be entertaining. Dude always throws up a lot of yards. Look, fun at times in Indy, but yeah, they'll lose a lot. And I'm sure Devontae Adams will be wanting out of there as soon as possible, and probably will get traded by that trade deadline.
If you could pick any if you can pick any non-QB player in the NFL to build your offense around, who would it be?
I'm going to go homerism on this one, and I'm going Christian McCaffrey on that one. Dude is just dynamic, run, catches, and runs kind of thing. So, yeah, he's just fun to watch.
It's okay to go homer. I'll go with Trent Williams. First team All-Pro for the past 3 years. No sacks and over 400 snaps. Only 18 pressures all season. Dude went up against dudes like Parsons, Allen, and Garrett. Yeah, I'm going to take him. He's 35, but still, he'll keep the QB out upright, and he'll keep that running game going. So,
sign the dude. Give him his money already. Let's get going here, San Francisco. What are you waiting for?
John Lynch is playing checkers, man.
And trade Ayuk to Pittsburgh already.
No, that's fine now. Let's just move on from that. Which new Olympic sport are you most excited to see in 2028? I'll go flag football.
Hey,
I'll go flag football. I don't think NFL should be allowed to try out, and I don't think the schedule makes it possible. But any which way, I want to see flag football.
Yeah, I thought flag football would be fun to watch too. The only thing is, if NFL players go, it's probably it's going to be an easy win for Team USA in that regards. Lacrosse is going to be fun to watch. They're adding lacrosse into it, so that'll be good for to check that out in the Olympics.
It'll be good for Canada.
Hopefully, it's their national sport, right?
It's our national sport, boy.
It's our, yeah. Is it still? Is it still?
It always will be.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they changed it every few years.
I don't know. Sorry, I got too aggressive on that. Thoughts on the Laine trade? Go ahead.
Good for Laine. I guess he gets moved. I don't know if it'll work out for him in Montreal, but Montreal ended up getting a second rounder for it. So also included giving up a prospect, Jordan Harris. So I like the move for Montreal. It's 2 years only, and hopefully he can regain some magic.
I like the move for Laine too. He's with some younger guys. He kind of might be an older statesman at this point. So, and at the same time, still chill and play Fortnite with the kids. So I think it's fine to have Laine there. Good for him. Over under 25 goals?
I'm going over.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He might be the primary goal scorer on that one. Other than, what's his name again?
Cole Caulfield?
No, Suzuki? Man. No, that crazy rookie that they have.
Oh, starts with an S. Slikovsky? What? I didn't say that right. That guy?
What?
Who are you talking about?
That that crazy last name. Yeah, European guy. Shoot. Any which way, Benny, have anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Just thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget, subscribe, follow, and have a good week.
And in the famous words of Rex Ryan, let's go eat a goddamn snack.
Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Denny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.